previous video, we've set up the workspace when Eclipse. So we're going to open up Eclipse again and get into that workspace. Give Eclipse a second to open up here. First screen you see is the workspace, and if you follow the previous video, you probably have a default already set up here mapping to that CST105 workspace we created previously. So I don't need to create anything new. I can just go ahead and click Launch. If you don't see the CST105 listed as your workspace, watch the previous video on how to set up that environment. Just take a second for it to load up. You remember it, Eclipse remembered what our screen looked like. All those other menu bars on the lower part and the right part are now closed. So we're ready to create our first project. We're going to click the New button at the top, or New part, New option up here. We're going to create a new project. So scrolling down the new side, we're going to look for the project icon. And you will see Java project at the top. If you do not see Java project, you can look for the Java menu item, expand it out, and find Java project there. So mine has it in both spots. If you have not been in Java project before, it might not be listed at the top. You might actually have to expand out the Java piece of it. So no matter which one you click, you can go ahead and click Next. At this point, we're going to go ahead and create a week 1 project. Since this is the first week of our class, we'll go ahead and create that week 1 project name. I will have to change my JRE, so I want to make sure that I get to the 1.8 one that we have installed. So the stuff we're doing is pretty vanilla and will work in any of the versions of Java, but to be consistent, I'm going to select use a project specific JRE and select my JRE that I have installed for Java 1.8. So week 1, uppercase for my project name, making sure I select use a specific JRE and selecting my Java 8 version, I can go ahead and click Finish. And I'm not going to open up my perspective. I'm going to remember my decision, and I'm not going to go to the Java perspective. I'm going to check the no. Not everyone's going to see this particular screen, so if you don't see it, don't worry. If you do see it, just follow what I've clicked on this particular one. On the right-hand side, or I'm sorry, on the left-hand side now, you'll see the week 1 project we created, and we have a couple arrows we can expand out. There are 2 subfolders under that project. The first one is a JRE system library, which has a bunch of jar files. Those are made up of Java class files that are allowed us to use when we're running our project. So we don't need to spend a lot of time inside of there. If you don't have that or don't see the same ones I see, it's not the end of the world. Don't worry about it because we're not going to do anything specifically inside of it. Let's talk a little bit about the SRC folder. That one, if I try to expand it using the arrows, there's nothing in it. So when I click the arrow, it actually just disappears and says, hey, this folder is empty. Let's go ahead and remedy that piece of it. So we're going to right-click the SRC folder. We're going to go across to New. We don't need to make a new project, but we want to do is make a new class. Everything within Java is done in a class environment. So we want to go ahead and give our class a name. We're going to call it Hello. Class names in Java are usually uppercase. So we can go ahead and type that piece in there. And we want to give it a package name. You can see at the top here it says use of default package is discouraged. So we want to actually give it a specific package name. The one we're going to use is lowercase CST105N for the class name. We are going to use W1 for week 1, .D1 for day 1. So our package is all lowercase, CST105N .W1 .D1. And our class name, in this case down here, is capital H hello. And we can go ahead and continue. So package name and hello are the 2 things we filled out. And we can go ahead and finish. There's our class name. I'm going to use Command plus or Control plus to make our font a little bit bigger. I can move these bars around here as needed to do some various pieces of stuff. So now I have the package name, and inside the package I have a class name. Let's go ahead and type in our first Hello World application. So we're going to type it exactly as is, and in a future video, the one right after this, we'll talk about some of the nuances that are happening with inside the application. So public static void main. The word public, all lowercase. The word static, all lowercase. The word void, all lowercase. And then we have MAIN for main with open and closing parentheses and open and closing braces. So these are considered parentheses. These are considered braces. We'll talk about how this all works in future classes, but for now, inside the parentheses, we need a capital, need to type in the capital S string, open and closing square brackets, and the word ARGS, A-R-G-S. This signature is going to be in every one of our applications. We'll talk about that in the next video also. Let's go ahead and make sure everything works. We're going to do a system.out.println, and inside that, we're going to say hello world. At the end of the line, we put a semicolon. So public static void, lowercase main, open parenthesis, capital S for string, open and closing square brackets, the word args with my closing parenthesis, opening brace, capital S system dot out dot print ln for print line, print ln, don't spell it line, open parentheses, quotes, hello world, close the quotes, close the parenthesis, semicolon, and close the brace. So I know there's a lot of stuff going on there, but let's go ahead and make sure this works, and then we'll kind of break it apart in the next video. To run this, we're going to look at the top of Eclipse, and we're going to look for this green circle with a white arrow in it. There's a couple different versions of it, but the other ones have little boxes down the corner. We do not want those. We want the green circle with the white arrow. You can go ahead and click Run, and you should see Hello World showing up in your screen. At this point, we've created our first application with our Hello World. If everything's running, good for you. If not, take a look at the code that's on the screen right now. Make sure you have all of the case for your characters, the capital S on string, the capital S on system. The color coding should be similar to yours on this one. If something's broken, you will have some errors, and the next video we'll talk about those nuances. So hopefully that all worked for you, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.